My name is Loveth. I grew up seeing my father distributing suspension in church to his members like a free gift. My father was a very stern pastor. Sometimes I do hear people in the village gossiping with his name, calling him wicked. I can't count the number of times he has canceled weddings when he finds out the bride is pregnant. No amount of pleadings will change my father's decision. I was sent to groom and prepare for the Lord a generation of decent, spotless, and godly people, and not filthy beings, for the next coming of our Savior, and that I must achieve. My father will always brag whenever his fellow pastors advises him to lessen his hands on his members. At home he handles us with iron hands because we have to be a good example to other children in the village. It's not a mistake that I have only 2 children. I personally told your mother to stop once you were born so that I can put my eyes on you and your brother. I won't be alive and see you two bring me shame and bring my hard work to nothing. No way. My father will always shout at us at home with any little mistake we make. I and my brother got very scared to make mistakes and tried our best to live our lives to the standard our father gave to us, but I had a problem. I was not good at all with physics and mathematics as a science student. Though I had no interest in science, but as I said earlier, my father gave us a standard already and the way we must go, even in the choice of what we will study. My brother, who had interest in cars, and he will always be found at the mechanic shop looking at the way cars are being repaired. My father screamed out and casted the spirit of mechanism from him with enough beatings when he found out, saying the Lord said he should be a lawyer. We were both struggling in academics and worked extra hard to meet up. At school, when I opened my book and saw the test score, I just heaved and closed the book, very disappointed that I failed. Because of my father's stern attitude, the teachers will always separate me from the other students when it's time for tests and examinations. Malpractice or asking your friends answers in the hall is a sin. That's what your father do preach, right? They will remind me. It was becoming tiring for me. I could not make friends nor mingle with people so that they won't influence me according to my father. My case was more interesting because I am a female child. Don't let a boy come close to you so you won't get pregnant, was what my parents told me. I feared suspension and stayed off, even though I had questions running in my head with what I do hear from my biology teacher. Loveth, you failed again? Faith asked as I covered my head on the desk crying. I don't know what to do. Soon the mock exams will start, I replied. Don't you think you need a teacher? Like a home teacher, I mean, she said. My father won't accept, I said. Just explain things to him and try to make him understand. Don't forget, no one will help you during the exams, Faith said, and it got me more scared. I and my brother were in the same class because we started school together. According to my mom, they didn't have the money to enroll him in school when he was supposed to start. We had to start together when the money finally came. As we strolled back home, I complained to Paul about my poor grades in school, and he just smiled like it was nothing. I don't understand. What's funny? I asked him. What do you want me to say? He asked back. You have nothing to say? I asked him. Loveth, I have nothing to say. Why not go tell your parents who pushed us to where we don't know where it's taking us? Imagine me sitting down to read different literatures. What for? Paul asked, and I breathed out. The mock exams is coming up. If we don't pass, we can't enter the next class, I said. Does it concern me? No. Should I kill myself? The shame will surely go back to him. I wonder how he will keep his face when his 2 children fails with high rank, Paul said, and quickly walked away from me, and I could sense that he's really angry. My mother returned from the market and I decided to talk to her. Unlike my dad, she has a small spot to listen to us, even though we will be wasting our time because she will have to still discuss with her husband. Mommy, please, you know I am trying hard. Help me talk to Daddy. I need a home teacher, I told her. Loveth, you know that is not going to happen? She asked. Mommy, I don't know, but if I want to be honest with you, my grades are very poor, I replied. I'll try my best anyway. I will talk to your father, she said, and left the kitchen, and I breathed out. That night we left our rooms for prayers. My father just fixed his eyes on me that I began to wonder what I've done. What is this home teacher I am hearing? He finally asked. How special is your brain that I have to pay for a home teacher and a school teacher? he shouted, and I closed my eyes shaking. She wants to start now to have a home teacher, and you're supporting her. When she gets to the university, what will she ask for? This home teacher, will it be free? He asked, referring to my mom. But she's complaining her grades are low, my mother replied. Is it our fault? Did our parents then, or did we know what is home teacher at our time? Didn't we struggle to pass the way we can? This children are too relaxed. In fact, get up, let's pray. He shouted, and we sluggishly stood up, and that was the end of a home teacher. After a week, I heard our seniors are organizing an extra class for us free. I was most excited, and that morning before I left for school, I told my parents about it. I need you back to this house before 3 p.m., my father said. But Daddy, the class begins after the school is over. I can't be home before 3 p.m., I said. Did I tell you to attend any class? My father asked. But Daddy, why are you doing this? This class is beneficial for me as a science student, and our exams is coming up soon. Is it bad for the students to gather us up and teach us what they know ahead of the exams? I asked, and my mother cleared her throat. When will you be coming back? She asked. An hour late, I replied. Dear, please let her attend. It's still part of learning, right? My mother asked, but he was quiet. Please, they are almost late for school, my mother said again, looking at the time as we waited for him. And you, Paul, you have no extra class? My father asked. There is, but I'm not interested in it, he replied. Very good, she should not be interested also, my father said to my mother. But they are in different class. Isn't the science class more difficult? My mother asked. That's what they make you believe. Anyway, you can attend, but don't dare to come back late, my father said. Thank you, Daddy, I happily said, and left with Paul. We were barely 10 of us who attended the class, and it made it easy for the students to attend to us and made us understand. I felt very comfortable with my seniors teaching me. It was penetrating better, especially when the senior boys prefect comes up to teach physics. Within a week after I started the class, I saw improvement, and I was doing well with the assignments they do give after every teaching. I saw myself interacting with my classmates, which was not so, and I was so close with the boys prefect, and we go home together because Paul was not waiting for me. One day as we walked home together, I saw a member of the church who I greeted very well, and she responded well also, and we passed. That evening I was doing my assignment when my father came in very furious. Loveth, who is this boy you're always seen walking and smiling with on the road with? My father asked. Hey Daddy, that's our boys prefect, I replied. So what? You will have to hold hands together and walk side by side laughing? Do you know that is appearance of evil? My father asked. Daddy, we didn't hold hands, we just walked and talked, I replied. Talked about what exactly? That all your 42 teeth will be showing, huh? He asked. Daddy, it's 32, I corrected, and I received a slap that fitted my face. Don't correct me and ignore the question I asked you. Let me not see you with that boy, and enough of the extra class. He shouted and walked out, and Paul just placed his hand under his chin looking at me as I cried, holding my cheek. Auntie Mary actually reported you, Paul said, and I looked at him and sniffed and stormed out of the house and got to her place straight up. Why are you a wicked and a jobless gossiper? Can't you do something better in your life than reporting people? I asked, facing her. What do you mean by that? She asked. Oh, stop pretending. Because you saw me walking with a boy, you reported me to my father for what exactly? I asked. To stop you from getting pregnant and get suspended. Oh, you're even raising your shoulders high because I called your father to look out for you, huh? You have no respect for elders, she replied. Mind your business, woman, look after your own children and leave me alone. I shouted and left her compound while she clapped her hands behind me. When I got home, I saw my mother coming out from the kitchen. Where are you coming back from? She asked, but I looked away, still very angry. I am talking to you. She shouted. To Auntie Mary place, I told her to stop gossiping, I replied. Is Auntie Mary your mate? She asked. Oh, she knows that and she can't stop being an idle gossiper? I asked back. Wonderful. I can see all she told me very visible now. So you even insulted someone old enough to be your mother loveth? My father asked, coming out, and I just scoffed. I didn't insult her, but called her to order, let her stop intruding into other people's business so that the size of her nose will reduce, I replied, and left and used the other door to enter my room. I heard my father ranting and vibrating the whole house, but I didn't care. Stopping me from the extra class or talking with Samuel was something I was not planning to do. I just knew from that day I was no longer that obedient lamb that can be kicked around. Thank you for watching this story. Watch out for part 2. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you think about this story. Bye for now.